Well, hi guys. I've not tried it before, but I'm going to try it this time for the first time. I'm going to make Crockpot Lasagna. I don't know if you've ever tried it, but we'll see how it turns out. First of all, I need an onion. And I don't think I need quite all of it. I've been wanting to try this for a long time. And my recipe calls for twice this much, but since it's just me, I'm not gonna fix the full recipe. I'm just gonna fix part of it. So I don't know how much of my crock pot it's gonna fill up. And I have one of the older crock pots. And it's one of the smaller ones. Woo! That onion is strong, I tell you. So we just need a half of a medium-sized onion. Woo! Oh! I hate cutting onions up. And we're going to need 4 garlic cloves, and those are out of my garden. And I'm just going to squish them. Whew! My eyes are still burning from that. Oh, that juice on the cutting board. Woo, goodness. Oh. Oh, I gotta wash that cutting board. I can't use it anymore until I get that onion off of it. Whew. I don't know, do we have stronger onions in Texas or what? They burn my eyes so bad I can't see what I'm doing. I don't know if it has anything to do with my allergies or what, but whew. And I wanted to cut up my basil a little bit, but I had to get that onion juice off of there. And that's basil right out of my garden. And you don't really need to chop it up unless you're going to use it as a garnish. I like to chop it up a little bit because I put mine basically just right in my sauce. But you could use part of it as a garnish. Oh man. And I'm using oven ready lasagna, and I don't think it's going to take all of this. You can use regular lasagna noodles, it's up to you. I prefer to use the oven ready. Now I'm going to come over here. See if I can raise this up just a tiny bit more. I'm going to leave my, well, I can move it. I like putting my crock pot, whoops, on my stove when I use it, because then it's right under the exhaust fan here at the oven or the stove. So it pulls the hot air out as I'm cooking. Because it only takes like 3 hours for it in the crock pot on high, or you could put it on low and let it go for 6 or 7 hours. But I'm going to put it on high, and I will let it cook for 3 hours. And I'm just going to slightly spray the inside of that before I start my sauce, because I don't want to forget to do that. Now I don't know, it's about a pound of ground beef that I had in the freezer, so I had to take it out and defrost it. That's why it's in that baggie. Because like I said, I buy my ground beef by the 3-pound packages because you get it cheaper that way. And then I just cut up the package. I make hamburger patties out of some of it. And I leave some of it in a large, like a pound, half pound. So when I have something like this I want to cook, I have the ground beef to do it. And all I have to do is take it out, throw it in the microwave for a couple of minutes on defrost, and defrost it. And I'm going to brown my meat a little bit first before I put onions and garlic and all that other stuff in. I've been wanting some lasagna for a while, but I never really thought about cooking it in the crock pot till now. And this will be my dinner tonight. It may be 8 o'clock. Well, let's see, 4, that's 5, 6, 7, about 7 o'clock by the time it's done. But that's okay. I love lasagna, I love spaghetti, I love all that good stuff. Now I'm simply going to put in my onions that I just chopped. I'm going to put in my garlic. I'm going to add a little bit of pepper. Salt, not much. Now I want to cook those onions a little bit and make sure my meat is cooked before I do anything else with it. And we're using the tomato sauce that we made the other day, remember? I had some in a quart jar left. I've been using on some of it, but I've still got not quite a whole quart jar of that tomato sauce, so that's what I'm going to use. That was made with my fresh tomatoes. This has been an unusual summer especially with my water restrictions, and I don't have any more tomatoes out there. It's been too hot for my plants to produce, and they're not going to produce any more till it cools off some. I mean, the way it's looking right now, I'm not going to have any tomatoes for chow chow. I'm not going to have hot peppers for cowboy candy or any of that. But you can look back on my videos and you can find the one where I made the cowboy candy, how I made it, and also the one on how I made my chow chow with my green tomatoes. So there is videos on that already that I've done. And all of that came out of my garden. I did not buy any of those jalapenos. I did not buy any of those tomatoes. They all came out of my garden. That's the reason I said I know what I can grow here. We've just had an unusual hot summer. And with the water restrictions, you know, it's a wonder I was even able to keep anything alive out there. But all that's supposed to end tomorrow. I mean, we'll have 107-degree temperatures this week. But the good thing about it, I will be able to water, or I'm supposed to. The water restriction is supposed to stop tomorrow. So, we'll see what happens. Got something sticking me on my side over here. Now, if you don't have the ground beef, you can certainly make this lasagna without the ground beef. You can just make it with the tomato sauce and the cheese and all the other stuff. I like mine with the meat in it if I have it, because that way it's a meal for me. You know, I may make a salad to go on the side sometimes, or I may not. You can make a garlic toast to go with your meal. And a lot of times I don't have a regular Italian bread, so I'll just take my sliced bread, regular sandwich bread, and I'll just go butter it and sprinkle garlic powder on it and make my garlic bread with that. It's just as good. And you don't have to buy a separate loaf of bread. Even though usually out here at Walmart you can get a loaf of an Italian bread for like $1. So it's not that expensive now, unless they went up. But I don't usually buy it. Once in a long while I will, if I'm going to make a poor boy sandwich or something like that. And then I'll take some of it and slice it off and make some garlic bread with it. Because the onions just need to cook down just a little bit more. Yeah, I've always put my lasagna in the oven, but I said with the Crockpot recipe, I'm going to try it in there so I don't have to heat up the house with the oven. And what heat this Crockpot will produce is going to go right out the exhaust fan. Hopefully. But this is a great dish you can put on. You can have all the ingredients fixed, store it in the refrigerator. That next morning, get up before you go to work. Add your ingredients to your crock pot, turn it up on low, and just leave it while you go to work, and your lasagna will be done when you get home. I'm going to add my tomato sauce. Add just a little bit of water in that to where I can get it all out. So that's a lot we've done with that tomato sauce that I made the other day. I'm going to put in my basil, because like I said, I like to just add mine into the sauce and cook it in the sauce rather than just use it as a garnish. And I can go out and get another little handful to make garnish with if I want to. And I may do that by the time the lasagna is done. I'm just going to let that cook a little bit. Get it all stirred up good. And I was debating whether to use that sauce for pizzas or lasagna. And lasagna won out because I can always come up with another sauce to make my pizza. So. Okay. I'm going to turn that off. I'm going to turn my crock pot on low so it'll be heating. I'm going to move it up here closer to me so I can get to it. I'm going to put just a tiny bit of my hot sauce right in the bottom. And you know, I don't have the ideal crock pot to do this. A lot of them are oval shaped. Mine is just got some of that cooking spray up there. I don't want it up there on the top. The oval crock pot to me would be a better crock pot to make lasagna in. Mine is deep and round. Oh, whoops. That did not break the way I wanted it to. But I'm just adding a good layer of noodles. Try to fill up the gaps down in there. I'm going to add, let's see. I'm going to add my ricotta cheese, a little bit. And get this film off the top. I'm going to add some more of my sauce. Just a layer of sauce. Better get a spoon for that. I'm going to put in a couple of shallow spoonfuls of ricotta cheese. wish you could see what I was doing. Let's see. Maybe if I move it closer. Well, you still can't really see down in there. The legs of the tripod are in the way. Let's see. There, that's a little better. But you can see how I'm layering it in there. I'm going to put a sprinkle of my mozzarella cheese. Doesn't take much. My noodles. And I don't know how many layers you'll have because I don't know what size crock pot yours is versus the size of mine. And then we continue on with more sauce. Just like you normally would build your lasagna. Just to coat that. Gonna add more ricotta cheese. More mozzarella. And you'll notice I turned my crock pot on low until it heated up a little bit. And then I'll turn it up on high. Like now, I'm going to turn it up on high. Now, more pasta noodles. Whoops, that broke the wrong way. But it doesn't matter how they break as long as they cover the mixture you got in the crock pot. And I'm going to have enough lasagna to eat for a while. And you can freeze it. You can freeze portions of it. It's not a problem. So if I end up with too much to eat, I can always freeze it. Now I'm going to go ahead and put the rest of my sauce right on the top. We're going to put in more of the ricotta cheese. If you cook it on high, the quick way like I'm going to do because I want it for dinner tonight, then I do not suggest that you leave it all day because it will burn up. It will burn your lasagna. But you can leave it for 6 or 7 hours if you cook it on low. Now I'm going to put the rest of my cheese in. And I'm not going to add any more noodles. So I didn't use quite a whole pack of those noodles. So we basically got 3 layers right there. Now you can cook it for 6 hours on low, or you can cook it on low for 3 hours and have dinner. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put it on high, get all this stuff that was in the top that I spilt, because I don't want stuff cooking on my lid. I'm going to cover my pot. I'm going to turn it back this direction. I'm going to turn on my exhaust fan. And I'm going to leave it for 3 hours. That's my Crockpot lasagna, y'all. And I'll be back in 3 hours to show you the finished product. Well, it's been about 3 hours, so I think I'm going to check my Crockpot lasagna and see what's going on with it. Let me get this cord unplugged so I can move the camera. It's looking good in there. It's pretty hot, but I want to see if I can get a little bit out for my dinner here. Don't think it's going to be too easy to get it out of here. Let's see. Maybe if I use a metal spoon, it'll go down through it. Because it's got to cut through those noodles. But kind of like I said, it gets a little crusty on the bottom, but it's not burnt. So you definitely do not want to leave it on high and cook it for any longer than 3 hours, maybe a little less. And I went a little bit more because when I first put my lasagna in my pot, I had forgot to plug it in. So it was a few minutes later before I realized my pot was not heating up and it wasn't plugged in. So I let it go to 7:30, which probably if I'd have turned it off at 7 o'clock, it would have been good. But I'm going to try it. But I tell you what, it smells amazing. And I like the crunchy part, so anytime it's got a little bit of a crunchy part to the lasagna, you know, I like that. That is if you can get it cut. Oh well. Let me get some of this over here. And this is a little hot, so you saw that I just got it out of the pot and I had just turned it off, so it is still steaming hot. Look at that. That's some good lasagna right there, y'all. I gotta cool it off. Because it's too hot to try to put in your mouth right now. Mmm. A little hot, but that is sure good. See if I can cut that. Looks pretty good, doesn't it? Mmm. That is good, y'all. But look in that pot. Does that not look good? And part of the sides and the bottom is real crunchy, just like you would have taken it out of the oven. So, with that, I'm going to tell you, please, try you some Crockpot Lasagna. It's pretty good. And I'm going to say, please like, share, subscribe to my videos. Y'all have a blessed day. I'll see you on my next one. Bye now.